We've all made the proverbial statement at some point in our life, whether out loud, to a friend, or simply to ourselves. And that is, I know there's got to be more to life than this. And if you haven't yet, this thought will visit you soon enough. Now ask yourself, how many times have you said, if I would have only followed my first instinct, or something told me not to come this way today, look at all this traffic. That's your inner guidance system working, whether you're aware of it or not. It's been trying to lead you all of your lives. However, many don't know it exists, and even more have no clue on how to follow it. Instead, what we do is allow all of our information and direction to come from outside forces. In this video, we will take a deep dive on how to understand, develop, and follow, as well as to connect with your inner guidance system, which will empower you as it leads you to the path to discovering your destiny. Make sure to stick around to the end, as I will give some steps on how to recognize and strengthen the relationship between you and your inner guidance. Think about it. Most of what we've come to know has been instilled in us by someone else. Ever since we've came into this world, others have been in control over the direction of our lives. Now, our parents shape and mold us from the moment we're able to understand. We're told things like, don't do this and don't do that. Don't say this and don't say that. Stay away from this and stay away from that. Now, all of this was for our own good. Besides, they were only trying to protect us and look out for our best interests. After all, they loved us and didn't want any harm to come our way. However, shortly thereafter, at a time when we're old enough, we enter school. Now, it's a lot like being at home with our parents, but with even more rules. Only this time, unlike at home, where we're told out of love, the game has now changed a bit. Because here we could fail if we didn't keep up with the standard that they set for us. They say a child is most creative before the age of 5. That's because after that, they're taught that there's only one correct answer for every problem, which we know in the real world couldn't be further from the truth. For there are many ways to solve a problem. And we also have to deal with other kids who've been taught by their parents what to do, which sometimes differed from what we were taught at home. Because let's face it, our parents only taught us what their parents taught them. Now, for many of us, if you're anything like me, your parents took you to church or to some form of religious institution, and there you was introduced to a host of new rules. But these rules were even more strict than at home or at school, because the consequences for failing here was much more than a grade, but a punishment by an angry guy, much like our dad, but worse, because he had a wrath that will come down on you if you didn't keep up with the rules here. However, he loved us the most. Now, I know for a lot of people, this could be confusing, especially to a kid, not to mention that many of the other kids at school was of a different faith, and depending on who you were listening to, the rules would change, because some of what they heard from their denomination wasn't totally contradictory from what we heard in ours. But anyway, however, the one thing that remained the same, and that was the rules at school, for they were consistent, because no matter the differences at home or religion, the rules of the system applied to everyone. Now, after many years of this training that has been put in place for us, we eventually graduate from high school, only for some to go to another for 4, 7, or even 10 more years, all while being told what and what not to do. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting a great education. We know it's needed in this society in order to survive, but you mustn't lose sight that that's simply about business and has nothing to do with you as a person or your spiritual connection with your higher consciousness. Because many do a job every day which goes against their better judgment, morals, as well as their conscience simply for a paycheck. However, others decide to opt out of school and go right into the workforce, where they immediately realize that there's no difference here, because now not only are we told what to do, but we have to put up with the attitude of bosses, managers, and supervisors, as well as co-workers, where we soon find out there's no love here at all, only business. Now, by this point, we've reached our late 20s, where we decide we're finally going to make a decision for ourselves. So what do? we decide to get into a relationship or marriage where we think, surely I can do what I want now. Besides, I'm an adult, right? And that's when you figure it out, that you and your spouse both have been trained by the same system, and neither one of you have been prepared to handle the trials of life as well as the differences between each other's personalities, characteristics, emotional instability, and lack of awareness. And just like your parents, school, your job, and religion, you're still being told at 30, 40, and 50 and older by someone else what to do. And nowhere along your journey has anyone ever mentioned that you have an inner guidance system, something inside each and every one of us, which has been trying to lead and reveal to us what's best for us. Our spiritual navigational system that would have led you to your higher purpose had you not been distracted away from it to begin with. It's amazing the way this important aspect of our lives got overlooked and how anyone failed to mention it. No one told us that the God within us would guide and lead us in the direction of our true purpose in life if only we knew it existed, and even more, how to follow. Think about this. If the Creator would equip the animals with such a sophisticated guidance system, what more do you think He would have done for us? After all, we're supposed to be made in the image of God. Our whole reason for coming into this physical existence was for one purpose, and that was to create. But it's impossible to be the creator that you came here to be when we're constantly being told what we should and shouldn't be doing. Now, don't get me wrong. By all means, we need a good education in order to survive in this world. And it's equally important to have a foundation in which to build upon, like the ones we receive from our parents. However, we will never live up to our true potential until we learn how to recognize and follow our own inner guidance system, the voice within. Each one of us come into this world as an individual, but end up being all trained the same. In other words, we take on a one-size-fits-all mentality. So what happens is we predominantly create by default, meaning we luck up every now and then, having glimpses of our greatness, but no consistency. And I truly believe that many can feel the sense something is missing, but can't seem to put their finger on what it is. And naturally so, because anytime you're disconnected from your inner guidance system, also known as your higher consciousness, we feel the discord in the form of our emotions, feeling depressed and unfulfilled. An emptiness inside that no matter what you do, you can't seem to shake. You see, our emotions are our indicators in life, which lets us know if we're operating in the way in which we were designed to operate. Now, the thing that keeps us from utilizing our true power, which we possess within, are the distractions. All the interference from outside forces that has been blocking our signal, which leaves you unable to receive instruction from your higher power source. Our inner guidance has been trying to lead us all this time, but we've been deliberately trained not to listen to nor follow it. You see, the vast majority makes all their decisions from the neck up, basically with their minds. Now, considering the fact that 95% of what we think and know comes from outside influences, therefore are not our true genuine thoughts, it will be impossible for us to go as far as we can go in life simply based upon this method. However, your inner guidance, the voice within, doesn't simply come from your mind alone, but rather what we call our intuition, which is located in the stomach area, is what we refer to as our gut feeling. Intuition is our indicator that our inner guidance system is trying to lead us. It goes against conventional teachings, surpassing all outside interference. Oftentimes, it's something you can't explain at first because it's simply just a feel, a knowing within oneself that can't be explained. Your intuition connects you to the supernatural, which surpasses intellect when needed. It aids the mind in its ability to distinguish truth and will oftentimes override your thoughts. And luckily it does. It is your backup protection against outside forces who attempt to control and manipulate your thinking. In many cases, it also protects us from ourselves. We were designed in a way that our intellect and intuition was supposed to work cohesively with one another as a unit. However, the mind has been so heavily programmed by society, our environment, friends and family, as well as social media and so on, which has caused the disconnect between these two powerful pathways to now work in opposition of one another, leaving you with a weak signal and for some no signal at all. And herein lies our work, which is to bring these two chakras back into balance. And here are just a few suggestions to help bring them into alignment. But first, if you're getting value out of this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we upload a new video. Now, one of the best ways to connect with your inner guidance system is through fasting. Intermediate fasting plays a major role in detoxifying the body. It will help cleanse the body of many impurities while keeping your organs operating at their optimal level. So fasting is one of the first things we must do in order to reconnect with our inner guidance system. It's sort of like cleaning your computer's hard drive. You should know that before you can install a new operating system, we have to first delete the old, because we know that some new software programs won't work on old operating systems. And the same applies when our inner guidance is trying to reveal to us new instruction. Therefore, old habits, thoughts, beliefs, programming due to society and others must be removed. In many cases, the old operating system may carry viruses, which will prohibit the new system from functioning properly. However, fasting consists of much more than just abstaining from what we eat. It also includes the music we listen to, people, places, and things, as well as what we take in through our eyes due to social media. Understanding that the eyes are the window to the soul. So the things that we give our attention to the most are the very things that's affecting our ability to connect with our inner guidance. It's interesting how people will have spam protection and virus protection on their computer, but no protection on themselves. So fasting will go a long way in helping you to connect and follow your inner guidance system. Another way we connect with our inner guidance would be through diet and exercise. What we consume play a major role in our ability to connect with our higher consciousness. Like they say, you get back what you put in. So if you put junk in, you can be rest assured it's junk you'll get out. Also, exercise, such as walking, can also make a major difference in cleaning out our minds as we are present in the moment. Walking is one of the only times where we use both the right and left side of our brain simultaneously. And it is equally important to drink plenty of water throughout the day, at least half your body weight. As it cleanses the body while replenishing, you should know that much of the information stored in the body resides in the water. So drinking plenty of water can remove a lot of the negative energy you've been holding. And the most important way to reconnect with your inner guidance system is through time spent alone with the Creator, often in the form of meditation. Developing a relationship with your spiritual voice the same way you would develop a relationship with another person. You see, this is why in all religious texts, you hear the prophets getting to a place to be alone with God. Understanding that prayer is when we talk to God, but it is through quiet and stillness that God talks to us. The scripture says, faith without works is dead. However, it's important to know what work is referring to. And that work is for us to do our part in reconnecting with our God source by implementing discipline and effort to discover our true power while strengthening our connection with our inner guidance. Now, the way to know that the voice you hear is truly coming from your higher consciousness is that it will be in the best interests of you and those around you. It will lift up and empower all and not want to cause harm to anyone. Also, is not judgmental, controlling, condescending, deceitful, or vindictive in any way. In other words, if it causes you to have envy or hate or want to bring harm to another, then it's the ego talking, which is when we edge God out and needs to be dismissed immediately. Another thing is, it will always send confirmation to what it has revealed to you, which will begin to show itself in many different forms throughout your day. Sometimes it may be something as simple as a sequence of numbers that you constantly keep noticing, which can be confirmation of your inner guidance trying to come into alignment. A word you suddenly hear more often than usual. Also, a peacefulness may suddenly overtake, bringing you reassurance that everything is going to be just fine. Situations which generally would upset you, you will find yourself handling much better than normal, as you will begin to feel the sense of calmness and control within. All kinds of little things start to appear that you normally wouldn't pay attention to. And all of this is a sign that you're coming into alignment with the information you're receiving from your inner guidance system. Although as you begin to raise your level of awareness by reconnecting with your power source, you will start to regain control over your mind, thus discovering your true greatness while becoming unstoppable in whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish in this life. And once you have achieved this, it will enable you to follow your spiritual guide more than ever. Though there are many more ways in which to identify your inner guidance, but for time purposes in this video, this will be a great place for you to start. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will do my best to respond to as many as I can. Also, I want to know, have you developed a relationship with your inner guidance system? And let me know if you've gotten value. Once again, this is the Information Station, where we provide information that can help change your situation, which will empower you to have your very own motivation.